Hi, everybody. Welcome back. It's good to see you here again. Before I start the little vignette I'll read for this morning, I would just like to say that the very beauteous snoring that you heard in the background of my last reading was from my dog Sigmund, who is with us again today and may very well start snoring again. So he's just the background to the story. Okay, everyone. So we're going to start this morning with a story called Our Seal. This is how things go here in the morning. When Reveille sounds, and it's still pitch dark, first of all, we put on our shoes. Otherwise, somebody will steal them, and it is an unspeakable tragedy. Then, in the dust and crash, we try to make our beds according to regulations. Immediately after that, we rush to the latrines and the washroom, run to get online for bread, and finally, we make a dash to the roll call square. We join our work squads and wait for the head count to end and the sky to grow lighter. One by one in the dark, the ghosts who are our companions approach. Our squad is a good one. We have a certain esprit de corps. There are no clumsy or whining rookies among us. And among us exists a rough friendship. In the morning, it is customary for us to greet one another formally. Good morning, Herr Doctor. Good day, Signor Lawyer. How was your night, Mr. President? Did you enjoy breakfast? Lomnitz showed up, the antiquarian from Frankfurt. Then Julti, a mathematician from Paris. Next, Hirsch, a mysterious businessman from Copenhagen. Janek, the Aryan, a huge railroad worker from Krakow. And Elias, the dwarf from Warsaw, uncouth, crazy, and probably a spy. Last, as always, came Wolf, the Berlin pharmacist, bent like a hook, wearing glasses, and mewling a musical theme. His Jewish nose cleaved the murky air like a ship's prow. He called it Chutmeinu, Hebrew for our seal. Here comes the sorcerer, the anointer of scabies, Elias announced ceremoniously. Welcome to our midst, most illustrious excellency, Hochwohlgeborene. Did you sleep well? What news did the night bring? Is Hitler dead? Have the English landed? Wolf took his place in line, his mewling steadily increasing in volume. Its tones grew richer and more variegated, and some of his companions recognized the concluding measures of the Brahms Rhapsody, Opus 53. Wolf, a reserved, dignified man in his 40s, lived on music. He was steeped in it. Ever new themes chased each other unceasingly through him. Others he seemed to breathe in, drawing them from the camp air through his famous nose. He secreted music as our stomachs secreted hunger. He reproduced single instruments accurately, but without virtuosity. Now he was a violin, now a flute, now an orchestra conductor, and with a deep frown he conducted himself. Someone snickered, and Wolf, Wolef, according to the Yiddish pronunciation, demanded silence with an irritated gesture. He wasn't finished yet. He sang with great concentration, bent forward, eyes on the ground. Soon, around him, shoulder to shoulder, a ring of 4 or 5 companions formed, all with the same posture, as if drawing warmth from a brazier at their feet. Wolf went from being a violin to being a viola, repeated the theme 3 times in 3 glorious variations, then broke off with one final rich note. He applauded himself discreetly, all alone. Then others joined in the applause, and Wolf bowed solemnly. The ovation ceased, but Elias continued to clap violently, shouting, "Wolf, Volef, scabies Volef. Volef is the smartest man of all, and do you know why?" Wolf, having resumed the dimensions of a common mortal, looked at Elias with distrust. "How come he has scabies and doesn't scratch?" said Elias. "This is a miracle. Blessed be thou, the Lord our God, King of the universe. I know them. I know these Prussians. The dean of the camp, Prussian. The doctor who treats scabies, Prussian. Wolf is Prussian, and sure enough, Wolf becomes an anointer, and then scabies Wolf. But no doubt about it, he's a wonderful anointer. He smears on ointment like a Jewish mother, like a dream. He has anointed me too and cured me, praise be to God and to all the just. Now, by dint of anointing everybody, he too has caught scabies and anoints himself. Isn't that true, Maestro? Oh, yes, he anoints his belly because that's where it starts. He does it on the sly every evening. I've seen him. Nothing escapes me. However, he is a strong character. He doesn't scratch. The just don't scratch themselves. "Ha, nonsense," said Yannick the Aryan. "Anyone who's got the mange scratches. Mange is like being in love. If you've got it, it shows." "Sure, but Maestro Mangy Wolf has it and doesn't scratch. Didn't I say he's the smartest man of all?" "Elias, you are a liar, the biggest liar in this camp. It is impossible to have scabies and not scratch." And as he said this, Yannick began to scratch himself without being aware of it. And little by little, the others too began to scratch. In any case, all of us had scabies, or were about to get it, or had just recovered from it. Elias pointed out Yannick to the gathering with an ogreish laugh. "Ha, there, just look if Wolf isn't made of iron. Even the healthy ones scratch themselves. And Wolf, who is covered with mange, stands there, stock still, like a king." Then, with a sudden spring, he threw himself on Wolf, pulled down his pants, and lifted his shirt. In the uncertain light of the dawn, we glimpsed Wolf's belly, pale and shriveled, covered with scratches and inflamed spots. Wolf jumped back, trying at the same time to ward off Elias, but the latter, who was a head shorter, leaped up and clung to Wolf's neck. Both men collapsed to the ground in the black mud, Elias on top and Wolf gasping, half suffocated. Some tried to intervene, but Elias was strong and he clung to the other man with his arms and legs like an octopus. Wolf's defense grew weaker and weaker as he tried to rain blows blindly on Elias with his feet and knees. Luckily for Wolf, the capo arrived, dealt out kicks and punches Solomon fashion to the two men entangled on the ground, separated them, and lined everyone up. It was time to march off to work. The incident was not particularly memorable, and indeed was soon forgotten. But the nickname Scabies Wolf, Kratzerwolf, tenaciously stuck to the protagonist, a crack flawing his respectability, even many months after he was cured of scabies and relieved of the position of anointer. He did not take it well and visibly suffered from it, thus helping to keep it from fading away. A timid spring arrived at last, and in one of the first stretches of sunshine, there was a work-free Sunday afternoon, fragile and precious as a peach blossom. Everybody spent the day sleeping, the more energetic exchanging visits between barracks or trying to mend their rags, attach buttons with wire, or file their nails on a stone. But from far away, carried by the whims of a tepid wind, redolent of damp earth, we heard a new sound. A sound so improbable, so unexpected, that everyone lifted his head to listen. The sound was frail, like that sky and that sun. True, it came from far away, but from within the boundaries of the camp. Some overcame their inertia and set out to search like bloodhounds, running into one another with faltering steps, their ears pricked. And they found Mangy Wolf sitting on a pile of boards, ecstatic, playing a violin. His seal was lifted to the sun and was quivering. His myopic gaze lost somewhere beyond the barbed wire, beyond the pale Polish sky. Where he could have found a violin was a mystery. But the veterans knew that in a camp, anything can happen. Perhaps he had stolen it, perhaps rented it in exchange for bread. Wolf played for himself, but all those who came by stopped to listen with a greedy look, like bears catching the scent of honey, avid, timid, and perplexed. A few steps away lay Elias, his belly on the ground, staring at Wolf, almost spellbound. On his gladiator's face hovered that veil of contented stupor one sometimes sees on the faces of the dead, that makes one think they really had, for an instant, on the threshold, the vision of a better world. Thank you, everybody. And I'd just like to wish you all a Chag Sameach. I've always said that Pesach is the Lach Chag because we have Pletzlach, we have Imbelach, we have Tegelach, we have Kanedelach. And this year on our table are also going to be a few Computerlach, where we will be Zooming our Seders with one another. So for the Lach Festival, I wish you all a very, very Chag Sameach, and that, please God, next year we'll all be together and can hug and kiss and do what comes naturally to human beings. I wish you all the best. Bye.